Hello everyone, it's time for Pick a Stick May, and this is the journal that I've been working in. This is that cloth covered journal. This was my January. This was the additional stuff that we did for February. This was my February page where we had to make something with cuts in, and then this was March, which of course had Easter involved and a picture, and this was April. Lots of fun doing that. And now we are to May. So I'm going to take a page out. And I think because this is going to call for more than just that, let me grab, I think I'm going to need an additional backer on this one because we're cutting and tearing. So I'm going to grab a piece that's got color on it back here. And this, do I want that? Do I want that? I don't know. I think I like this. I think I'll go with this one. And you'll see where I'm headed with this once I get going. I might even use that on the back side of that. Who knows? So let's get started, and I'll grab my list of instructions. The first thing says to cut or tear page or image, and I'm going to do my page just because I can. Okay, so here we go. Okay, I have my crossword all glued down, and I did my non-tool, which was my card. The next thing is to add glitter, but before I get too carried away, I thought I ought to put some kind of closure on this window that I'm creating here. So I'm taking out some metal pieces. I need to, let's see, I need a push pad for this particular one. And I have some binding cord. This is waxed linen. I'm just going to cut a piece of that waxed linen. I think I'll double it up for strength, and just in case something gets out of whack. And then I'll tie a knot. I'll tie a knot in the end of that to go underneath to help hold it in place. Now the other thing that I do, trim that a little bit. The other thing that I do is I'm going to dip that in the matte gel just to make sure it's good and secure, because you know, if you're opening and closing pages, that can become something that takes a lot of wear and tear. So I'm going to set that down. This has little prongs in the top, and I'm going to push that down over the top of the knot right into my push pad. And what you'll see then is the prongs sticking up on the other side, and then I need to take pliers or something and push those prongs over. So let me get something. Let's see, I have a hammer. Where are my pliers? Okay, I have a pair of pliers here. So I'm just going to take my pliers and bend those prongs in to keep them in place. And the reason I'm doing this now is because what I typically do is I'll come back and cover up things like all of these embellishments on the back, so you're not going to see them. And this is a good place to do that. I know it's not on the list, but I have to add this for my own personal aesthetic because I need a closure on that window. Okay, so voila, we have this part. And then what I'll do is just take a brad. What color brad do I want here? Let's do silver. Since we're doing silver, let's do a bright silver. And right across from that then is I'll put this brad. What I should do is back that with something so it doesn't pull through. So let me see what I have here. Here's a little through. See if it'll fit through that. Yeah, that'll work. These little things are kind of like a grommet. So I'm just going to take my awl. I'm going to punch my hole for the brad. I'm going to put that through, and then I'm going to put the little grommet on the other side. Whoops. That will serve two purposes. It'll keep it off. If I can get it back through the hole the other way. It'll keep it off the surface, so I got a place to wrap my cord, and it gives a finished edge on the inside here. So I'll just bend that over. And then I have a place here to wrap my cord for a closure. Like so. Alright, next thing is add glitter. So let me think about that a minute. Okay, so now we're going to add glitter. I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to work with some sprays for the moment. I'm going to use my backer paper, and I'm going to, I have this Patty Tolly Parish Live, Laugh, Love. I love that. I have that saying in my kitchen. So I'm going to use this with some spray on here. What I have is some Art Anthology spray. This stuff is lovely if you guys haven't worked with it before. I have this is called Concord. Let me show you what that's like. I'm going to put that down first. And I'm just going to, let me see, I want another piece to blot with. That's a bit much. So let me grab some tissue. I just wanted to bring a little bit of that purple back. Sorry, I'm going to heat this. And what it's doing is it's grabbing in those sections of the tissue. Getting a little bit of that purple coloration back in. Okay. Then I have, let's see, that was the Concord. Now I'm going to use the Marlin, which is a really pretty blue. I think I'm going to slant this across the page this way and see if I can hold it down enough so it's not seeping all under. Okay, so there's that. Let me get another book or a piece of paper. And I'll put that down there. This will become a background for something else. Dry this again. And then for my glitter, let's see, I want to wipe. One thing you want to do with these spray bottles is you want to wipe your sprayer so it doesn't clog. So I'm going to do that. Set those aside. Now, where I have, let me take this down a little bit. That buckling is bothering me. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in with my glitter glue and I'm going to apply that to that Live, Laugh, Love. And what I have here is some stickles from Ranger. This is Distress Stickles in Milled Lavender. And what I'm going to do, first I need to get it flowing. And then I'm going to do just following the letters. With the glitter glue. Yep. It's okay. It's one of those oops things. Gets a little chunky sometimes. And it's only meant for background. So don't get too shook up about it. Okay. It's probably enough for my window now. I gotta let this dry. So, step number 6 is use washi tape. Well, I don't have a lot of beautiful washi tape, so I'm using my prerogative here. Because of the colors that I have involved here, I'm going to go back to all my scrapbooking things, my scrapbooking days. I have these lovely things from Magenta from who knows when, 2002, that I need to use up anyway. And it's very similar to washi tape because it's in strips. So I'm going to use that. And I also have this piece of acetate. Now, I'm going to put this piece of acetate across my window. And in order to do that, I'm going to flip it over on the back side. And I think I'm going to cut a little bit of that off because I don't need it to be quite so big. This goes way back too. Back in the day when I was still working. In another life, I did records evaluation at a local college, and that included doing graduation for the folks. Well, many of the diplomas changed over the years, and these acetates used to go inside of the diploma covers. Well, when they changed, they were throwing things like this away, and I said, oh no, I'll take that. You know, I'll take that, very innocently. All right. So that's why I have all of this acetate to use, and it's great for shaker cards and things like that, because I had a whole stack, I don't know, it's probably 1,000 pieces of acetate there that I have that I can use. So I'm just going to use it in this project to create my window. Do I want to go over? Yeah, I'll miss the holes here. And do that. And then I have another sheet that has that pretty pattern on it. So I'll grab another strip of that, looking very similar to washi tape. And I will cover this side. And actually, I think I'm going to do, well, we'll see. We'll see what I do. Right now, I'm happy with that. And oh boy, I got that stuck. And then I'm going to, that's going to go over. So, yeah. Well, it's sticking there now, so that's where it's going to stay. Just like that. Not perfect, but oh well. Oops, oh well is my good friend. Carolyn Doobie says. Oh, where's that? I don't know. It might have been Carolyn. It might have been Dina Wakely. They're both my friends because we have the same attitude about oops, oh well. Yeah, there it goes again. Oops, oh well. So, like I said, it's a journal page. Am I going to get shook up? No, I'm not. Just going to stick that, yeah. Stick it down where it's not even. Oh, dear, folks. Watch Peg struggle with something so simple that a child could do it, but then they're better at this than I am. All right, so that was my washi tape. Use scrapbook paper to create borders of other elements. Borders of other elements. Do I want it in here? See, now my plan is to put this together. So this will be in the window. I might have to do a border in here. Let me figure that out and I'll be right back. Okay, I have a couple of die and some scrapbook paper in here, and I'm going to run it through the Big Shot and cut some scrapbook paper into borders that I can use. Let's see what we get here. I have a couple of different images. And we'll see which ones we like. Okay, all this white on the front is beginning to bug me, so I've decided I've got to change that up a little bit. So you can see I've masked off quite a bit already just to prep for this. Cover my letter here a little bit too. Don't really want that coated. I'm going to go back to my art anthology and just add some of those luscious colors. And we'll dry that off, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay, so the next step is to add a piece of fabric. I have added some fabric, but this is step 8, so I need to add something at this point. And I think what I'm going to do is just add some kind of fabric embellishment. So I've got this canvas that is gessoed, and I'll come back and show you what I've done with that. Okay, you guys know I can't leave well enough alone, so now I've got some gelatos out, and I'm just making a mess. Getting some highlights on this raised surface back here, where I did the paste, because I want some more color. And in order to get that, I'm going to use these gelatos and just add a little bit of shimmer. And I've got this one is grape. Anyway, I'll come back and show you. Next to the last step, step number 9 is add mountains or trees. So I looked over here on my left and I saw this. Looks like mountains to me, right? So I'm going to go for that. That's my interpretation. So what I did is I started putting some of that down. Putting some of that down around the edge. Now, I'm going to attach this, but I wanted to wait until I finished what I was doing in here. So what I'm going to do is get a piece I can work on and not make a mess. And I've got a glue stick here. So I'm just going to glue my mountains around this piece. I don't think I'm going to have room at the bottom, but we'll see what I can do there. I might be able to come inside. Yeah, I might be able to do that. Let me finish this piece. On the edge. And then see if I can get this. Oops. Guess I should have started from the other end. Let's see if I, oh yeah, sticky situation here. Let's see if I can get this on the inside this way. And I think we're gonna make it. Yeah, okay. Cool beans. Okay. Good enough. And then, just playing around with these colors again. I want to add a little more shimmer to this piece. So I'm just watering down some of that gelato. And just adding a few touches around here to continue with that shimmer. Just a little bit more right down here at the bottom. And those mountains frame that card pretty well. So I'm happy with that. Now, if I can get my caps back on here. Get rid of that. And I need to glue this down. Clean this up before I stick my hand in it. So, this I'm going to put here. And I think I better use something sturdy. So I'll be back. Okay, I'll admit it. I've gone on without you. Sometimes I just forget to click that little button that says record. So what I did is I fastened this down, put a few winged things on here. We did the mountains and trees, and the very last step, step number 10, is add black marker or pen. Well, you can see that I've already started doing that, just highlighting some of the things on here. So I came in with a little bit of the spray, the Art Anthology. This is the Concord, and a little bit of the black, and just put some texture onto the background with a little bit of color, because the white was just really too stark and it needed to be toned down a bit. And so that's how I accomplished that. And then, of course, the interior, you know, we've got our flap going in. I think what I'll do here is I'll take some of that, well, I don't know. I might take a butterfly, or, yeah, let's do that. A butterfly or something. Let's do a butterfly to cover that. Brad. So it's not so garish out here. I'll just put that down on the interior, and maybe even another. And these stickers are old, so I'll have to put some matte medium on them to get them to stay down, but you know, that kind of covers up the works that are going on inside of here. I added this little bird to the inside of the clear plastic, so he's kind of in there, and then the background, of course, that I did with stenciling, and this closure will close up, and then I'll just come in and finish up my pen work, and then I'll give you some final shots. So that's kind of it for May. I'll finish up and say goodbye for now from here.